Hello, everyone. I am Andrew McPherson here today with another edition of Everett Unleashed. Today, we'll be talking to one of our own design and production members, McKenna Jensen, to tell us a little bit about the Michigan Department of Education. So, can you tell us a little bit about the Student Advisory Council for the MDE and what it actually does?
So the Student Advisory Council is a group of 40 kids, around 40, I'd say, and they're from all over Michigan. We represent, obviously, Michigan. The students of us, we represent the 1.4 million students of Michigan.
Wow.
We work with the Board of Education, we work with the superintendent,
Mm-hmm.
and we really just get the voice of students out there. We
Mm-hmm.
really want to say our opinions. We want to make it more student safe.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the students are from, very populated areas like Kalamazoo, Lansing, very big school districts.
Yeah.
I'm actually one of the only students from like a rural community.
Mm-hmm.
Very small, very tiny school district, any of that.
Yeah. So are these some of these regions, do they get multiple representatives or is it everyone gets one?
So the really one of the big school districts is Detroit.
Yeah.
They have 2 representatives, and then Cadillac also has 2 representatives.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how did you actually get involved with the MDE and when did you start?
So this is my very first year in MDE, and I was actually sitting in class one day, Mr. Haynes' class, and Miss Mysick had came up and she said that there was 2 applications for students to apply for to get into it, and I had applied for it, and then Addison Cataldo actually applied for it too. And then it was somewhere around, the middle of summer is when I got the email for the acceptance.
Yeah, so this is just like a passion you had, something you wanted to do?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does a typical meeting look like? What kind of stuff goes on there?
So in the beginning, there was one big meeting. It was, it was more of introducing everybody. It was a big icebreaker. It was 6 hours long, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It was very long. It was long and boring, just sitting there all day. We really met everyone. We met the senator. Man, it was just a bunch of icebreakers, honestly. It was just getting to know everyone, getting to know what we're getting into. But after that, all our meetings are more Zoom. More Zoom meetings. They're an hour and a half long. And we go in, we'll talk about our major components, anything we really need to discuss, and then we break out into breakout rooms.
Yeah.
And there's about 5 of them. There's mental health, and then there's a couple other ones. I don't remember what they were.
Yeah. So you got a lot going on there.
Oh yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Yes.
So what kinds of discussions or topics do you see commonly come up during meetings?
We really talk about students' opinions. We talk about how the students can become more involved in their schools, how educators can do a better job teaching students, really just, whatever concerns we have. We just want to evaluate those.
Yeah, very important. Have you learned anything particularly interesting or surprising while being a part of the MDE?
Honestly, really everything. Everything that we do is interesting. It's very entertaining. I love learning about all of the cool things that they've done in the past. I like learning, and I like meeting all the new people. I've met with senators. I've actually met with the new superintendent of Michigan. I meet with a lot of people, and it's just so cool knowing that I'm representing a lot of people in Michigan.
Yeah, a lot of important stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important for students to have a voice in education?
I really do, yes. Yeah. But it's also, it's to an extent. So if here's an example, if it's really big on mental health, there's a topic in mental health in the school, I really think that students should voice their opinions about that.
Yeah.
But if we're talking more something that really educators are more focused on and it doesn't affect the students as much, I mean, I think they should get a voice, but I think it should be, not as much. It's not affecting you as much, so I really don't know how you could be involved in it.
Yeah, to an extent so it doesn't get out of hand.
Yeah, yep.
So in your experience, do you think students' opinions are heard enough in schools, or do you think it's kind of lacking?
It honestly depends on how big the district is.
Yeah.
Or, how much they really appreciate students' opinions. Let's say you take Detroit, for one, they have really big school districts, and or like Kalamazoo, they have big school districts there.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, I'm sure so many students' opinions aren't heard. I'm sure that they don't take an accountability on it, like anything. But like if you were to go to a smaller school district, like Reed City, maybe Big Rapids,
Yeah.
I bet you they really take their students' opinions and they take them into consideration. You know, it's a smaller school. Everything they do really affects the students. So I'm sure that they would love and love to know what their students think about what's really affecting them.
Yeah, because not everyone's going to get equal representation.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's hard to cycle through all that.
It is.
So, what changes would you like to see in Michigan schools?
I'd really like to see, and this is my opinion, obviously, but I'd really like to see more mental health in schools. You got to think, like, we are a really small school district, so it's really difficult for us to get like any kind of be nice. Be nice is a really big thing on mental health.
Yeah.
But if you were to look at like Kalamazoo, another example, they have multiple. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of teachers that can help.
Yeah.
Like one of my meetings, we went over on how many like social workers and like psychologists. Kalamazoo has like there was this one school that had 3 psychologists, 2 social workers, and then like 2 other people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
When I get to bigger school, but you think we only have 2 people, and really one of them's just a counselor for schedules. And then you got, Miss Mysick, our social worker, who's she can only do so much at a time.
Yeah, just as one person.
Yeah, I'd really like to see more resources going out for schools who can't really get what they need.
Yeah, it shows how like important it is and how much work they're trying to put in through it. So, has being a part of the council, has it influenced your opinion on education at all?
Yes, I think I'm more in the middle now than I really was. When I started, I was more, oh my gosh, they're unfair, this isn't right. But I've learned a lot on how they have to decide and the deciding factors and all of it. And seeing it on an educator side or like a superintendent side or principals, they really do a lot more than students actually think about.
Yeah.
Like students, that's cell phones. They really think, oh my gosh, this is terrible. This isn't going to do anything. Nobody's going to listen. But if you were to look on an educator side and you're sitting in the classroom, you're teaching somebody, and majority of the class is listening, and then there's those students that you really want paying attention because they're smart and they have potential, and they're just sitting there on their phone, it's not going to get anywhere. They have potential to be something great in life, and they're just sitting there playing games or watching TikTok on their phone.
Yeah, and it has done a lot too, and
it has.
I think seeing it in that different point of view actually changes it a lot.
It does.
So what are the council's goals for the future?
So our goals is really just to make our school districts better. Voice our opinions, make sure that students feel safe to be heard. Make sure they are heard. Make sure that superintendents of all the school districts and all the teachers know that they can tell the students that they're able to come to them, that they're able to listen, and that they have people they can go to voice their opinions.
So do you have any upcoming projects in the works right now, or?
Right now, my group, I'm actually in the mental health and safety group. We are in the works of making a video about mental health. It's really, so we're going to do like real life examples so people can really see what to really look for. If you were to read like a pamphlet, it's not going to tell you specifics. So we're really trying to get it out to where people see it and know what the signs are, even if they're not obvious.
Yeah.
Like sleeping in class, that's a really obvious sign. But you got to think, there's a lot of amazing students out there that are always so hyper, they're always learning, like they're always attentive, everything that could really be facing home problems, and it could be really affecting their mental health, but nobody's gonna know.
Yeah, and they have so much potential.
Yes.
So to wrap this up, if you could tell every student in Michigan one thing about their education that you've learned through the MDE, what would you tell
them? So there's so many things that you could tell a student, but I would tell them, don't take your resources for granted. There's so many schools out there smaller than us that don't get the resources, that don't get, somebody to represent them in something so big. Don't take it for granted. There's you got big schools too that have everything, but there's certain things they don't get also. Just don't take what you're given for free granted.
Yeah, I agree. So that concludes our edition of Evart Unleashed. Thank you, McKenna, for coming on.
I enjoyed it.
Yes, and I'll see you back in the classroom.
All right, I'll see you then.
I think you did a great job.
Let the